She was 6 weeks early. She ended up in the NICU for 28 days. The end of the story is she's home. And she's fine, and she's so healthy, and she's so awesome. I was 33 weeks pregnant. I had my baby shower that Saturday, and then I went into labor 9 days later. We headed to the hospital. My baby was breech, and so I was gonna have to have a C-section. I never even went to a labor room. I went triage to OR. They pulled Lucy out. They were like, here she is. She was too early. Her lungs hadn't had a chance to figure it out yet, and she was 4 pounds, 15 ounces. I mean, she was really tiny. The NICU nurses are also like educators, and it feels like they know that all you are gonna want is answers. I feel like they're really good at getting you up to speed on the medical stuff they can answer, what machine reads what, and what a blue number means versus a green number, and you're just mostly waiting. It's a lot of waiting. Once she was eating on her own, she didn't have any like IVs or anything like that or any breathing assistance. It became just kind of a waiting game for her to clear what the hospital needs to release a baby from the NICU. She needed to not have any Brady's or Desats where her oxygen in her blood went below a certain level for 5 days. If you heard she had 1 Desat, you knew, okay, she can't come home for another 5 days now. It was a really long period of time, and there was a lot of like false starts in there. One time it was really hard. We were told she made it. She did it. She cleared 5 days with no Desats or Brady's. We had balloons. We were so excited. My mom was there. We were gonna take her home. We got upstairs and a nurse was crying, and they told us she had one right before. It happened like when we were in the car. And we had to start our clock over. I didn't think I was gonna take half of my maternity leave from the second floor of a hospital. As trying as being in the NICU is, there were so many cool things too that I would have never got to experience. For Valentine's Day, they made her a special bow and they had a special blanket. And I was like, well, if I'm just gonna start spending a lot of holidays here, I'm dressing her up for every single one. They had a guitarist who would come around and just serenade them. I was holding her and the woman came over and started playing a song for us and we got to slow dance. It was so cool. It was really, really great. There is a silver lining in being in the NICU, and that is sleep. And that is help. I got to sleep through the night. And having major abdominal surgery, like you really need that. I also became really good friends with a couple of the moms. And when one of them got to go home, you'd be so happy for them, even though everybody's road was different, was very unifying and like healing. When they told us that we could take her home, it was I almost wanted to rush through it, because I was so afraid they were gonna change their minds. That was the moment that it was like, oh, real that we had a baby now? We didn't get to control anything about that journey up until that moment when it was like, now all of a sudden we could make our choices. We could make our life plan instead of our birth plan. And that's so scary, and also awesome.